Jeff Ulbrich has spoken out on the play of Haason Reddick this season, and we're going to break it down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as usual. And if you like the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton. 18% of viewers are subscribed right now. Let's try to get those numbers up. But let's talk about football. That's what we're here for. Jeff Ulbrich recently spoke on Haason Reddick and the way Reddick played with the team, saying, you know, you might say that had I put on the tape and saw a guy that looked rusty or slow or not explosive, you know, but everything we thought that we were getting with him, everything we had seen on tape that made us pursue him as hard as we did has showed up. It's just been a byproduct of a lot of things. Maybe just still getting familiar with what we do. So I don't think it's a physical thing so much as the opportunities. Now, Ulbrich said this discussing what his thoughts are on Haason this season, where he thinks the New York Jets are, and some of the problems with the New York Jets in regards to the pass rush and how he felt on Haason Reddick. Well, taking a look at the way Haason Reddick has played this season, it has been underwhelming. I mean, he has half a sack, he has 5 tackles, and I know he started the year late, so that's going to happen, that his numbers are going to be down, but he just hasn't really felt like he's been on the team at all. We haven't really felt Haason Reddick's We haven't felt his impact at all. I couldn't find the word impact in my brain for a second. But, Matt, looking at the way that Haason Reddick and the New York Jets are this season, it's not that surprising that he's having a down year considering the entirety of the New York Jets are sort of having a down year. He's a free agent. His money's clearly impacted negatively here. I'm kind of surprised Ulbrich's just hyping him up, but that kind of is how this Jets coaching staff has been. They've always been hyping things up.
This certainly just looks like another example of a coach hyping up the players on his team, which is always a good thing that you want to do. You never, even when you do it to talk down on a player, you don't do it in front of other teammates usually, and you definitely don't do it in front of the media. So when you do have to, if he is going to talk down to Haason Reddick, which I'm sure he has to have at least have thought of doing because he has 0.5 sacks on this season, he's got to do that just a one-on-one conversation in coach's office with Haason Reddick. But talking about this is the player that they saw on tape and what they're expecting to get when they traded for him, that's just a straight up lie. You remember they were talking about how it would have been okay if Haason Reddick was going to chase sacks. A guy who is going to be chasing sacks should never have 0.5 sacks through like however many games he has played. Obviously not a lot, but not even 1 sack yet. Like, come on, what are we doing? Haason Reddick has to play better. If we're not even playing with our full complement of pass rushers. Jermaine Johnson isn't on the field. Our entire defense isn't playing as well as we all thought they were supposed to be playing. Robert Saleh's not here, and clearly that departure has impacted the defense a lot more than we thought could be possible. But Haason Reddick, just putting it bluntly, everyone can see that he's not playing up to his full potential, which is what happens when players hold out. Jamar Chase started slowly. CeeDee Lamb started slowly. We watched Brandon Ayuk start really slowly and then get injured. The guys, when you don't practice with your team, not only do you come out and you play worse, you're also at a higher risk for injury, which is what we're seeing with so many of these holdouts. Guys that don't play a lot of games, they come back and they get hurt faster. It's the same thing with, like, you see people everywhere, they come back in like 1 or 2 games, they're immediately hurt again. It's because they haven't been practicing, they haven't been playing. That's why there are more injuries at the start of the NFL season. It's because people are getting used to the speed again, and then after week like 4, injuries are a lot more rare than they are in the beginning of the season. So that's why you can't have a holdout. That's why your front office has to take care of these decisions over the offseason. And it looks like Haason Reddick, that was never going to happen. Woody Johnson, we think, forced Joe Douglas into making this trade, and we are positive that Bryce Huff has more than 0.5 sacks. Should he be on this team this season, he would probably have been on the team for a similar price for Haason Reddick and would have been here long term. Definitely think Bryce Huff was the move. I remember you texting me as soon as the Haason Reddick deal went down, and I was looking at it, and I wasn't, stoked about it. I couldn't sit there and say, this is definitely a bad trade, but I was looking at it, and I was saying, there is no guarantee that Haason Reddick is even better than Bryce Huff. Of course, no one could have seen this coming. No one would have seen a ridiculous holdout like this. There are holdouts, and then there's what Haason Reddick did. He went way past what was even financially smart to do. Even his own agents didn't want to be on his side anymore. No one wanted to be on his side. Really bad look for him going forwards. You talked about his future. His future is definitely not with the New York Jets, but no one watching this video needs me to tell you that. what he's going to be looking for, I'm sure another huge contract, which he's not going to get. He's right now, after the holdout and after the year was already over, it feels bad to say, but I'm kind of happy that he's not getting paid a lot of money because we've been saying it since day one. He's not worth that much money. So it would have, honestly, there's a paper trail, or I guess, a video trail for us, but you could have been able to go back and you would have seen us making those bad takes. And fortunately for us, it looks like those takes are going to age pretty well because we were right. And it was pretty obvious. I think a lot of people knew. We can't victory lap that because a lot of people knew Haason Reddick was never going to be worth that type of money. He was asking for TJ Watt, Myles Garrett type of money. He's not the kind of player. Plain and simple. If Jeff Ulbrich wants to lie about in front of the media, honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world for a coach to do. Whoever our next head coach is going to be, when there's a player struggling, we're going to need him to hype up that player in front of the media instead of tear him down. So I do like this quote from Jeff Ulbrich, even though we can see that it's not true.
Yeah, and look, I know the fact that Jeff Ulbrich's a player's coach because that's what Robert Saleh was, and he wasn't going to switch up that philosophy in the middle of the season. He's going to back the players. That's what players coaches do. And you look at the Jets. You look at Haason Reddick. There's no way this guy's getting paid. It's no longer that he wants the TJ Watt, Myles Garrett money. No, he's not getting. I'd be surprised if he got mid-level money for more than 1 year. He's going to be stuck on it. As I said, I will reiterate what I said because I was spot on, unless I'm wrong, because the offseason is coming up, so maybe I'll be wrong. But I said this is gonna turn into him becoming one of those Jadeveon Clowney guys of just getting these 1 year prove it deals because now teams don't trust you. And with Clowney, it was different. It's because he could not get 10 sacks in the season for some reason, despite being a pass rusher and just a guy who's gonna give pressure anyway. But it's with Reddick now. He now has to prove that he's not a basket case. He now has to prove that he's bought in. He now has to show a lot after not having a good showing this season when he came back and also not playing in a year where, as he didn't play, he also got sued for making a fake old folks home or something like that and then intimidating a witness using his dad. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Haason Reddick this year, we've all made our fair share of stupid decisions in life. I'm not bashing him. But Haason Reddick in the year of 2024 just kept making mistakes. It's just this constant trail of mistakes by Haason Reddick. So now he's not going to get the money. Let's say Haason Reddick went out there and had not a great season with the Jets. Not a bad season, just not a great season with the Jets. I think if he played all the games and that if he showed that he wasn't going to be a head case when it came to the money and the holdouts, then I think he would have gotten to deal with more stability. He's 30 years old. This is his biggest chance to get a contract from this point on. After he gets a 1 year deal from some team that's probably pretty good next season, I imagine he's going to end up taking a cheap deal with a good team, such as like just to pull the best team for a while out of my head, the Chiefs. Maybe he takes a smaller financial deal from them 1 year, balls out, and then can get a bigger contract because he showed that he impacted winning. And yeah, then maybe he bounces back. But if he goes into free agency and is just going to look for the biggest deal possible, it's probably going to be some 1 year deal. And if it's some 1 year deal, what we're going to see is Haason Reddick, no matter what, probably be stuck on 1 year deals for the rest of his career. So this all is his fault. And Ulbrich even backed him up further, saying for pass rushers to get production, you have to have substantial leads, and you need to have leads throughout the game so you could really let your rushers go. And we haven't had enough of those opportunities for him or the entire D-line for that matter. Yeah, and I mean, the Jets D-line in general does not look great this year, so maybe it's not all on Reddick. But this video is about Haason Reddick. We could talk about the entire D-line. I almost called it the G League, as in the NBA G League. But we could talk about the D-line whenever. Look, about Haason Reddick, I think he shot himself right in the foot this season. I think he's never going to see lucrative contracts for the rest of his NFL career. Massive error on Haason's part this season.
So we don't know what kind of money he's going to see in free agency. Jadeveon Clowney saw 2 years, $20 million, so $10 million per year. You would have to imagine no matter what happens to Haason Reddick, we know that he made bad decisions this year and lowered the amount of money he's going to get next year. So what's probably going to happen is, like you said, he'll get a short deal and it's going to be a prove it deal. And the problem is when he proves it, people are going to look at him and say, you're 31. You can't be part of our long-term plans. We're going to go pay someone else instead. So it's going to be real bad for him. But hey, he still made plenty of money. Like, he's still an NFL player.
Made more money than I have, so he's got that going for him. Haason, sorry I trashed you on 2K that one time, but also I beat you in that game. So what are you gonna do? I have that to say, and you could say you're an NFL player, so I guess you ultimately win. Just don't witness intimidate me. Guys, make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. No one likes Matt. Go Jets.